where better to start this week than with Ronda Rousey on the set of The Expendables. Here's what she had to tell me, and she certainly was in high spirits. I'm in the trailer park of the crew.
Base camp.
You call it base camp for the crew of The Expendables, and I'm here.
It's this Misha that hangs out in the trailer parks. I hang out in base camp.
Well, you know who that is, obviously, now. Joining me on this week's UFC World podcast from Sofia, Bulgaria. Sofia, Bulgaria. Bojana. Yes, it's the one and only.
Yeah.
Rowdy. Ronda Rousey. How are you doing?
It's good. I just found out that Peugeot is not pronounced Peugeot.
You mean the French car are you talking of now?
Yeah, my French car that is broken several different ways since I got it. And, yeah, I'm not too impressed with the Peugeot because, yeah, first of all, no match was found. Second of all, this thing leaked water on me twice. That screen is broken. The CD thing is just messed up. And the window broke. And I blame the French.
But you're lying here. Well, not lying. You're reclining in your Peugeot.
Yeah, that's right. I never lie.
In your base camp, which I've got to say, you've got blood running from your mouth, fake blood. You've been beaten up by Mel Gibson today. Yeah. You and Victor Ortiz kind of beaten up by him. Victor Ortiz, the boxer, of course, who's great fun. Just been talking to him.
Yeah, Mel Gibson's really good.
You got this kind of very. It's very military, but quite sexy suit on. And you look like you're having fantastic fun. Like everything you do, you seem to have, like you throw yourself into it 150%. You look tired right now, but you look like you're having fun.
Yeah, I'm happily exhausted, which is how I like to spend my time. Because if I was just like angry and full of energy, that's just trouble waiting to happen. That's how you get into fights that you don't get paid for. That's how you get into fights that cost you money.
Are we going to be surprised at a different type of you when this film comes out in August 2014, do you think?
I don't know. Am I going to be listening to your Siri beeping until then? Whose phone keeps making that noise? It's distracting the hell out of me. Bloop, bloop. Oh, it's all your fault.
Do you know what? I'm so deaf I couldn't even hear my own phone doing it.
See, I am a finely tuned X-Men athletic machine, and I miss nothing.
Has Sly Stallone turned you into a machine, then?
No, I've always been a machine. How do you think I get so much done?
Have you found this great fun? You've been out here a couple of months filming this.
Yeah. It was perfectly timed, you know? Like, I needed to get away and kind of separate myself from everything and kind of be able to organize my life and see what's negative and what's positive, and it's hard to see that when you're submersed in everything, and so like really isolating myself from it put a lot of things into perspective, and I'm definitely going to organize my life much better and efficiently when I get home.
Do you think Tough made you realise that as well? Doing Tough?
Tough was definitely a catalyst to my disenchantment from MMA, and that's fine, you know. There's I've done a lot of work for women's MMA so far, and I have a lot left to do. And now we have a whole cast of girls that are ready to take it over when I'm done.
You've already started training camp. You've got you've had some guys out with you training. Chris Beale's out. You know, there's obviously he's doing wrestling with you. Did you? Has it been difficult, or is it difficult balancing being on set 12 hours a day or 6 days a week, 12 hours a day and having night shoots? I think you've done a night shoot recently, with getting ready for camp as well for December 26th.
Yeah.
December 28th, actually, isn't it?
It's 28th, and if it wasn't difficult, everybody would do it. You know, that's why it's unprecedented. And I'm going to find a way to make it all work. And there's days where I wake up at 4:45 a.m. and run up 88 flights of stairs at my hotel just because that's the only time I could fit something in. Or, you know, it's I've been up for 16 hours, and I'll bring all my workout gear, and I'll call a bunch of Bulgarian dudes, be like, yo, we're going to the gym this time, and then, I'll find some guys to roll with, or flying people in, and just so, like, whenever it's convenient, we can just go to the gym and start rolling around. And there's days where I have to, like, my knees are bad, so my driver, Alex, who is amazing, whose car I'm hanging out in right now. I like hanging out with Alex in his car, in his Peugeot, better than I like hanging out in my trailer, actually. And he'll just drive me up. We went and found, like, random spots in the mountains so I could just run straight up so I won't hurt my knees. And he just follows me in the car, and I run for as long as I can, and then we're like, oh my god, we have to run to set. And then he, like, picks me up in the car, drags me here, takes me out of the trailer, I shower, then I go to hair and makeup, and then I go and shoot. It's just, I gotta find ways to fit it in, find ways to make it work. And if it was, that's why there's a lot of people that doubt that it can be done, because it seems impossible, but I refuse to admit that it is.
One of the things that Greg Brilliant, who's actually been brilliant with me today, I want to give him a shout out on the podcast.
Brilliant, Greg is so brilliant.
He is.
And aren't his glasses snazzy as a
they are straight out of Top Gun.
I love them.
Well, Greg's been kind of, I don't want to say looking after me today, because he looks after you, but he's been brilliant giving us access to you here today.
He's been babysitting me to make sure I don't say anything that's that shouldn't be said. Have I leaked too much? Have I said things that shouldn't be said? Are you going to have to edit these guys, Greg?
We have ways of controlling them.
Control them in your ways. I'm sorry, like, I just talk and, like, I don't know what I need to say.
He said so far.
I didn't ruin anything?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He said so far you've been perfection itself. The way that you've presented things today, you haven't given away too much. But what I wanted to ask you about was, one of the things he told me was, obviously, there's some amazing fight guys from fight films here. Obviously, Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson, as I've been bullying you today. Mel's been in some amazing action movies, but Dolph Lundgren, Jet Li, let's say Victor Ortiz. But when Harrison Ford turned up, apparently, you were a little bit starstruck, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars is one of those movies that, like...
Oh, yeah, Han Solo, man.
I would watch it, and then I would rewind it, and then watch it all over again, and then rewind it, and watch it all over again, except for then I would just fast-forward it to my favorite parts. Like, I was obsessed with Star Wars. And I had Star Wars toys, like, everything. And so... Yeah,
were you a Jedi Knight?
I'm a Sith Lord. I'm not a Jedi Knight. The Jedis are the good guys. I'm the bad guy.
No, we can't have you.
Anger, fear, aggression, the dark side are they. Those are the things that really do motivate me. I am motivated by spite more than anything else, and that is a dark side feature. So, me and Shayna Baszler are both Sith Lords. We decided that we are of the Sith. And
funny you
I'm
say
cool
that.
With that.
It's funny you say that, because when I spoke to your mum recently, and thank you very much for giving me permission to speak to your mum, because it was fascinating.
Mm-hmm. And she did ask for permission, and she's just like, is this guy crazy or not? And I'm like, no, he's cool.
Hopefully you did say he's a little bit crazy.
I said that his hair is crazy, but, if you guys are only talking and you don't have to look at him, then you should be fine.
Oh, that is just below the belt.
A load of what?
I said below the belt.
Oh, I thought
you just smacked me straight in the gonads.
That's just a load of bells. I'm like,
it is a load of balls, darling.
Editing was that? Loaded is a load of bells.
So what you said to, as long as you don't have to look at him, you'll be fine. Yeah,
I'm just busting your balls, dude. You're remarkably handsome.
Now you're just blowing smoke up my backside.
Jesus, you don't take ball buster. You don't take a compliment. What the hell do you want? You are like a vocabulary Goldilocks. What the fuck, dude?
What your mum said was this. She completely confirmed what you just said, that Ronda is motivated when she feels like her back is against the wall, when people are against her, that she needs rivalries to get the best out of herself. Where does that come from?
I think it just comes from, like, being an Olympic athlete. I perform above myself when under pressure, and those high pressure situations is when I do the best. I was never raised to be one of those dojo fighters that beat up everybody in practice and then, like, would break at the biggest competitions when they mattered the most. And so that's why I'll purposely paint myself into a corner, so there's just no way out. There's no other way than I have to win. There's no other possibility that can be entertained, and that's part of the reason why I talk so much shit, because Misha's very careful to not say anything that will get thrown back in her face when she loses. Everything that I say would get thrown back in my face in this alternate universe where I could possibly lose, and I just don't entertain it. Like, it has to be a situation that there's no other way than for me to win, because that's when I literally fight above myself and above what is possible for me to usually do under normal circumstances. I do it on purpose. I need it.
What your mum said as well, because I wanted to ask her, is there obviously she's your mum, you know, and I'm a parent, and you worry and you think about your children a lot. My girls are in their 20s, you know, and, you know, I said to her, but is there a, when we've seen Ronda really emotional, for example, during the Tough series, I asked her the question, do you worry about her, the delicate side of her? Is there a delicate, sensitive, vulnerable side? She said, look, Ronda always cries. It's part of her. Mm-hmm. It's part of... She'll cry over... When she was 19, she'd be the same. She's no different than what she's always been. It's part of her... almost, she said, it's part of your vocabulary, almost. You know?
Well,
being out there with your emotion.
I think it was another Ralph Waldo Emerson quote, which I love quoting him, and he said, tears are words waiting to be written. And it's just, I was the youngest. I was like the kid that got beat up on, you know, in the house, and I always felt free to cry, and I had a very hard time expressing myself as a kid. So a lot of time I would express myself through crying, and you know, when I was training when I was a kid, from the day I started judo till I must have, for the first 6 years that I did judo, maybe 7, I cried every single practice. Just because if I got frustrated, I would never cry because something hurt, but I would cry because I would be fighting someone. They could be 40 pounds heavier than me, and if I couldn't throw them, or if they, I would start crying about it. And, even Manny Gamburian, he was way bigger than me when I was, a little kid, and he was this big tough dude. If I couldn't throw Manny, I would cry about it, and I cry because I care. And it's just a way that I have of expressing myself. And you know what? People are like, oh, you cry too much, you're such a big crybaby, da-da-da-da. I'm like, I'm the toughest motherfucking bitch on the planet. I can cry all I want. I'll make crying look badass. Because, you can't really say I'm a pussy, because I could beat anyone's ass. So what's wrong with me crying?
You got a massive fight in December. There's a massive fight this weekend. Houston, Texas. UFC 166. Junior Dos Santos. Cain Velasquez defending the UFC World Heavyweight title against him. How do you see it?
I see Cain Velasquez winning again. I'm pulling for him. I think that, I think he's the better fighter. I think he's better for our sport. And I think he's a better dude.
And I spoke to Gemma Gibbons. Does that name ring a bell? The judo girl from the UK. She won a silver medal in London.
Yeah. She fought Kayla.
Games. Yes, she won the silver at the London Games. I spoke to her this week, and she said to me, do you know what? After the Rio Games, because she fought you twice. You two fought twice.
Oh, we did?
Yes, years ago. She said she beat me twice. You beat her twice. You fought twice in competition. I think once in France and once somewhere else, she was saying.
She's brunette chick.
Brunette chick.
I remember. I do.
She's tall. You both fought at higher weights, actually.
We both fought in the 70s.
Yes, exactly. You remember Gemma?
Yes, I do. Yes, very, very sweet girl. Very cool.
And she said, do you know what? After the Rio Games, because she wants to win a gold in Rio, she won the silver in London. She's really thinking about joining MMA in 2016.
Hell yeah, man! That's right. I'm starting the revolution, man. The judo revolution. They don't treat the athletes well enough, man. It's I don't know how they are in Britain. Maybe they're fantastic to them, but I think it's great that there is a channel for them to go after judo, because so many people... You can't
make a career out of it, can you?
You can't. And, so many people, they just devote their lives to it, and they have no education, no work experience, and a box full of medals that does jack shit for them. I mean, that's the realization I really came to when I got home after the Olympics. I'm like, all right, I got an Olympic medal, and no one gives a shit. And I really didn't make any money off of it. And it's nothing that's going to help.
It's a dead-end career in a sense, isn't it?
It's a dead-end career. You devote your life to winning an Olympic medal for your country, and you get a shake in the hand and a kick in the ass. And that's it, and, all power to her, man. I hope that she comes over to MMA and she shows everybody what's up, and she does judo proud, and that she does well for herself in MMA, and that judo, like, in the UK and everywhere else benefits from her making an example of how effective it is.
Finally, in Manchester at the end of this month, Rosie Sexton becomes the first woman ever to fight, British woman rather, to fight in the first UFC fight ever in Europe. You did it in America last year, wasn't it? You became the first woman to fight in the UFC. Obviously we all know who you are now. You've put the women's division on the map. How important will it be for people like Rosie Sexton to make this historic leap for us in Europe as well?
She's just taking the next step in our takeover, man. Like, I told everybody, I was like,
You've shocked the world, you girls. You know that.
Yeah.
You've shocked the world.
I was like, dude, we belong in every single job. There should be women astronauts. There should be women soldiers. There should be women presidents. There should be women surgeons. And there should be women fighters, because why the fuck not? And then it should be like that everywhere. And so, yeah, Rosie Sexton, take it to Europe. It's going to keep going.
Rhonda, it's always brilliant to see you. You got that lovely smile on your face. You're great fun. Stay well. Have a great camp. We'll see you in December.
Thank you. Thank you for the time, man. It's always fun. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Davies.